JJ, you want to get us started with Coach Traylor?
Hey Jeff, how you doing?
Good, JJ. How are you?
Not bad. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're about halfway through spring workouts. Any, I guess, monotony sitting in with the guys?
Uh, no, they were great again today. We went pretty long today. Had a lot more, good on good. Ones versus ones, twos versus twos, threes versus threes, and for the most part, came out of it pretty healthy. An ankle rolled up, and other than that, we had a really good physical practice. Got a lot of reps, and I was very pleased.
How do you balance, trying to get the reps in and staying physical with also trying to stay healthy at this point? Because you do have a few more weeks left of spring.
It's the hardest part. It really is. We're a little different in the aspect that we don't make our practice schedules all the way from the beginning to the end before spring ball ever starts. I've worked for some guys, the practice schedule, what it's going to be like every day. I'm more of an adjust coach. I make practice schedules, or we do as a staff. We'll readjust again for this Thursday because we banged on pretty good today. So we'll pull back Thursday because we know we're going to scrimmage Saturday, right? So it's kind of the old Benjamin Franklin quote about common sense. It ain't so common.
Hey, Greg?
Jeff, how do you evaluate the offensive line play so far this spring? What jumps out about that group?
Well, they're all returners, so we're way, way better than we were last year. We don't have like 15 of them, but we've got 10 or 11 that have played. But we've had some walk-on linemen that have done a great job getting a lot of reps, and they've helped us get through the spring. So that's been huge. But we got Maka returning at center, and Spencer at left tackle, and Makai at right guard. And, KD's played a ton. Terrell Haynes has played a ton there. Meach has played a ton. Dom's played a ton. Jalen Galmore has played, and all those guys, are back. So I might have left out one of them. I don't know. I hope I didn't. Ernesto's played as well. He's back. Monte's been a little gimped up. Hadn't got to go as much as I wanted him to, but the rest of them been getting a lot of reps. So we're very pleased with that group. Whenever you're got all your players back, you're just better. Our tight ends are all back. Running backs are back. Quarterbacks are back. Receivers are back. It's just we're better. And like I've said to y'all before, I don't know what that's going to mean for wins and losses, but we're a better football team than we were last year.
You got into a pretty consistent offensive line group down the stretch of the season after some early shuffles. Do you sort of stick with that group, or do you kind of try things out now? How does that work through the spring?
No, I'm a big believer in playing your kids. We'll rotate kids. I just believe it's good for the locker room. I believe it's good for depth. I believe it's good for competition, morale. There's so many advantages. So, it's just always been my belief to play your kids. If they have the talent and they show up, it's hard. It's hard to rotate quarterbacks. It's hard to rotate linemen. And it's hard to rotate cornerbacks. Those are three spots that kind of concern me, but I'm pretty, this is my 17th year to be a head coach. And if you go back and look at it on video, it's shown up. We play a lot of kids. We play our roster. Our roster, if they travel, we're trying to get them out there.
Any individuals from that group up front who have stood out to this point or caught your eye, big jumps from last year?
I'd probably rather, Coach Maddox speak on that. I know that Spencer Burford, Maka, and Makai always have great days. Terrell Haynes is one of those quiet guys under the radar that keeps getting better all the time. Of course, Jalen Galmore and Dom have had a good spring as well. And I've been pleased with all those kids. I don't know if there's anybody that's just jumped out, honestly. They're all very bought into the program. And they know so go them, so go us. And our triangle of toughness is about being very physical on defense, but it's also about being really taking a great pride in being a team run, where we all take pride in that. And that's where it starts up front.
Where do you see Dom fitting in? Because I know he kind of started the year and then there were some injuries, situations that played in. What's the outlook for him going forward?
He's an interior football player. I mean, he's a guard. He's an unbelievable attitude. He's really working hard on his body composition, and he's very good on our special teams as well. On our punt unit, he takes great pride in being in that shield back there. And I think he wanted to be a quarterback when he was younger in his life because he really likes barking out all those commands. And he's like Brett Favre back there on the shield. He gets us lined up and does a great job with his cadence. So he's a culture guy, tough guy that you can never have enough Doms in your locker room.
And you mentioned Jalen Gilmore. It's been a couple of years since we've seen him actually be able to play on the field. He's had the injury he's been working back from. How have you seen him kind of handle that process in the time that you've been around him?
A kid that I would say was a little disinterested because he just was so unhealthy, and probably another coaching change, and disinterested possibly, to a kid that's totally bought in, really worked hard in the weight room with Philo, done a great job with Nick, just rehabbing his body. And that's why I brought him back. I really believe in the kid, and I wanted to give him another chance. And I really hope for the young man that he can stay healthy and help us. He's already had a really good spring, and I feel confident he's going to be able to do that.
What was that conversation like? Was he really gung-ho about wanting to come back for next year and give it another try?
We traveled Jalen even though he was injured because he did such a great job coaching our O-line. I mean, he was a really good coach. Like, he knows the game, and he was really bought in. So that's where he started getting my attention. And then I saw his body starting to get better. And he convinced me he would really work hard at rehabbing it and getting back where he could play. And so far, everything he's told me has come true.
Okay, Vinny.
Hey, Coach. You have several guys that are already blessed to be fathers in life, Sincere and Adrian, Mackay, and Lorenzo. And I'm wondering, because of that life responsibility they have off the field, does that make them even more of a leader for you on the field, or just by default because they have that real life stuff that they've got to be responsible for? Does that kind of just tell you, yes, I expect you and know that you're going to be real leaders out there for UTSA football?
Name them one more time, Benny. Make sure. Who are they?
Yes, sir. Sincere, Adrian, Mackay, and Lorenzo.
Yeah, also DeQuarius, DQ. He has a baby girl, about 4.5 or 5.
Gotcha.
No doubt. You just see the world differently when you have a child, because I know for a fact on October 16th, 1993, when Jordan Traylor was born, that moment I changed on the spot, and that would be pretty much what all men would say if they wanted to be responsible fathers, because you realize that from now on, everything you do, someone's depending on you. That's an unbelievable responsibility. And I know each one of those 5 players take great pride. I hear them talking about, as we go over our culture pillars, how they're going to teach their children. And that's extremely flattering for a head coach when those players speak to you about the culture pillars and how they're going to share with their own children. And everybody's got a culture. I mean, your family has a culture, your church, your football team, your business. And if you're the leader of the organization, it's your responsibility to teach the culture. So no different for those young men. We hope as coaches, we can be role models for them to help them off the field and with their families. And we take great pride in that as coaches of being those role models.
But do you expect a little more out of them because they're fully grown men now with life things? I mean, do you expect them to measure up to some of your younger guys out there and say, this is what you need to be doing today?
I don't put the pressure on them like that, Vinny, because they're fathers, but maybe privately, in our conversations, we talk about those things that, because it is like to your point, it's just different. I mean, that's, Lorenzo chose to come back. Aquarius chose to come back, DQ. he teases me. I call him Aquarius. That's his real name. He'll kill me for telling y'all that. Those guys chose to come back. So they're working other jobs, trying to make ends meet, just to take care of their children. There's no doubt that when Lorenzo comes in here, Elijah's on his mind. Each one of those young men, when they come in here, that's on their mind every day.